This is Behind the Glass.
I've been here 30 years. I've been working, paying taxes.
You've been paying taxes?
I've been paying taxes for 30 years, almost 30 years. I have my own business. I started my cleaning houses, and I remember the first time that I went to do my taxes, because in my country I pay taxes too, so I went to pay my taxes, and the people was, what? What are you gonna pay taxes for? Oh, like people are like, okay, and it's the same citizen that they say that we don't pay tax. Oh, forget it. I mean, they try to pay you under the table. I was working as housekeeper, babysitter, and people, oh, I love you so much. I don't love me, pay me. I mean, people, oh, I'm gonna pay you this, like $5.
Don't love me, pay me.
Yeah, because I mean, they try to, like, oh, we're gonna pay you $5 under the table. It's, you don't wanna pay taxes. I don't care.
But why pay taxes if you don't have to? I mean, I'm just gonna ask, because I'm trying to be like what other people are gonna say.
My daughter is resident. She's gonna have her citizenship maybe in this year. So she could ask my petition for me. So you know what? The way that I'm gonna prove that I've been here legally, or I've been paying taxes, that proof that I've been here. So it's gonna help me.
That's interesting.
People, and I remember one time I was with one senator, and he was like, oh, you're undocumented, or you immigrants, you don't deserve to have a health care. And I was like, what? I pay taxes, and you know what? I don't want to even have my money back. I mean, I don't have Social Security. Why? What is my money?
Okay, so okay, wait, let's break this down. So, do undocumented people, I know not everybody does and not everybody doesn't, but in general, in your experience of the undocumented people that you know, and try to be honest, like what percentage, if we're talking, is it out of 100%? I mean, what percentage would you say of undocumented?
I think 70, 80% pay taxes.
Same for my.
What do you guys think?
I think the same. Yeah.
It's around
You think the same? You think it's high?
80%.
You think it's like
Yeah.
the majority?
Somebody's gonna turn 99 because they don't want to pay their taxes, so somebody else needs to pay taxes.
So just to clarify, different kinds of taxes that we're talking about, right? Because I don't think it's fair to say like a blanket, 80% of all taxes. Everybody pays their sales tax, right? When it comes to home, like mortgages, home tax, those of us that are in a position to own a home, they obviously they pay their property tax. Those of us that rent, no property tax, like anybody else in the U.S. If we're talking business tax, like Betty mentioned, my mom recently we were able to create an LLC for her so that she can work through that. So obviously we're going to be paying business taxes and fees because that's what a lot of people do to be able to work.
What about income tax? What percentage of people are paying that?
That's where the 70-80 figure comes in.
Is that high, you think?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you guys just sort of saying that? So
No.
that
No, actually, yeah, there's been studies by, there's many organizations, independent, nonpartisan organizations and institutions. One of them is the Center for American Progress. Another one is the Immigration Policy Center. And, they released a study in which they looked into how many undocumented immigrants pay taxes. They found that out of, the 11 million people living in this country, they contributed about $11 billion in taxes.
Are you talking about income tax?
No, this is
just all tax?
All taxes. Sales taxes, state taxes, income taxes. Of course, if an immigration reform bill were to pass and we would have, that option to become, legal permanent residents and eventually citizens, that figure would actually go up. And this money is going into this pool, going back to our local governments, state governments, and it's helping pay for a lot of those benefits that we get, right? It's paying for the roads, it's paying for hospitals, for schools. And yeah, that is something that we also have access to. But we don't have access to other things such as unemployment benefits. We don't have access to other things that are, really easily available to U.S. citizens because, one of them is definitely unemployment benefits.
Medical? So you don't have
insurance too.
access to medical?
The only thing that we have is emergency medical, and that only covers a certain percentage, and you have to literally be dying in order for that to cover you. So you have to go into an emergency room with a serious condition or a serious situation for emergency Medi-Cal to cover. Once Obamacare took effect, undocumented immigrants were eligible for any type of medical benefits. So everything, if I get a flu, I pay $250 just for medication and like a $60, $70 doctor's visit. And that's
now
every
you
time
do
I
or
get.
before?
No, like now I do.
Now
because
you do.
Of my
What happened before
parents'
Obamacare?
Some folks were eligible for medical benefits, but you had to prove serious poverty. I mean, there were other qualifications that you had to go through.
So you're feeling like you're paying 80, 70, 80, whatever percent is paying income tax, and then I guess your point is you're not getting all of the benefits for the taxes that you're paying. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a fact. Yeah, so it's people are paying taxes that's going into a system that everyone is basically benefiting from. And that's money that we're not going to get back, because the matter of fact is that in order to be able to get some of those benefits, we would have to be legal permanent residents and U.S. citizens specifically.
No, I mean, I'm just sort of thinking about what people might say. And so, I mean, I think some people have had an experience where they've paid someone under the table who may or may not have been documented, probably not, right? So a lot of people are walking around with that experience, you know what I mean? And so that exists.
Absolutely.
You could see how people would have a perception that undocumented people are not
I know
paying
people
taxes.
just talk because
think-
they think.
I think it's because they know that we're not eligible for Social Security numbers. But there's something called an ITIN. And I really encourage people to research what that is. So they know we're undocumented. And they know that we don't have Social Security numbers. And they said, hey, you still have to pay taxes. So they created
Who's
this new
they?
system.
The
The
IRS.
government.
The
government.
The
Yeah.
IRS.
And
The
so they gave
IRS.
us this, it's like a Social Security number that we can only use to pay taxes. That's all we can use that for. So that's called an ITIN number.
It's an individualized tax identification number.
Yes.
Anybody can apply for it regardless of status. It enables you to pay taxes within the U.S.
But it doesn't give you any other benefit besides paying taxes.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's funny. I think conversations I've had with other people, they're like, wait, so they're not willing to give you a pathway to citizenship, but they're like, it's cool, we know you're working, we know you're not allowed to be working, but here we're gonna give you a number so you can pay taxes out of the job that you're not supposed to be working.
And the other cases that you tend to get, because you hear about this, right? Individuals, like folks using fake socials at certain points
Right.
because they need to be able to
Yeah.
work. Usually that means that they're not going to get any of the benefits. So all the taxes, those socials are going to be taxed for payroll purposes. And then those benefits are going to go into empty air because you're not going to be able to go and check in for medical insurance or
Baby
Social
bumps.
Security, or retirement or any of that afterwards. So essentially you've paid into the system.
So now you guys are, you're a citizen, you're a green card, and so when you hear all of this, what are you thinking?
I feel pain for them. I think the politic system, it's corrupted to the bone because instead of actually taking care of the problem, they find little loopholes to take advantage and exploit a minority. And that's not cool in my book.